Now we're
And we're recording live. It's Tuesday, September the 17th. Basically, first thing we want to do today is kind of check in. Erin, did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to run through the notes from last week's call? I know we recorded it, but
like the one you guys sent out in the messenger
yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
We just want to go over just kind of do just a quick recap. We talked about personal development and we talked about invites. As far as invites go for me last week, I was just inviting to a free group last week. I sent 25 invites and I got absolutely 0 yeses. But I've already sent out, because I'm opening my accountability group this week, and I've gotten 4 more info.
No, you already ate.
That's better.
So that's good. But how did invites go for you, Tiffany?
morning I got caught up. So I hit my 35 and then actually got started working a little bit ahead for this upcoming week because I kind of invite in batches.
Yeah.
But what I do is I have the date on a paper and I just write 1 through 5. And that way I can see how far ahead I've worked or see if I'm kind of behind, because my goal is 35 a week. And I typically can get all of those off of the people that have watched my workout stuff on series, and that basically gives me enough people to mess with new people. So I hit my goal, which is good because I think last week I didn't. Are you tracking your invites, Erin?
I'm just trying to figure out how to do it on Instagram. I have watched that video I don't know how many times, and they're like, oh my gosh, you just go here and you click this and you do that and then you go here and you check it again, and I'm like, I can't even find these people. And then half the people I do find, they're like, hey, look at me, I'm already a Beachbody coach. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not Insta savvy at all.
If you want, you can focus more on your Facebook to start, because you kind of have your warm market. And you kind of know who was willing to jump in when you started your LuLaRoe stuff.
Right.
You had your hardcore, me for starters. But you can't sign me up, somebody signed up. But you kind of know who was there and ready to jump in before they even really knew what in the heck you had going on. So I would start with some of those people. And to start, you can just go through your Facebook friends list and I don't know if you have an extensive, I don't know how many friends you have on Facebook. I could not write them all down now because I have almost 5,000. But when I started, that was not the case. So I was able to go through my friends list and write it down and just start reconnecting with people. If they're people you have been talking to, you might be able to just straight up invite them. That might be a good place to start until you kind of get Instagram figured out.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have a list of those people that I have invites sent to, and really just started the conversation first to try and get back into that. And I think I have 8 share carts out right now of people that were yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so then whenever I see them, I'm like, so how are you doing on that meal planning? How's that going? Do you want me to come over and help you? Do you want me to make you a menu? I totally can, so it's just kind of those people right now. I'm trying to work on those while still reaching out to other ones. And I'm doing the love thing on that. Oh my God, this is so cute. Or, oh my gosh, she's had a baby, you look awesome. All of that. It's just.
A lot of times in my personal experience, the people that jump on right away and are yes, I want to work the business, I want to do all the things, they, in my experience so far, have not stuck around. Not saying
Same.
Won't be that person, because I was slow to start when I signed up under Jared, and the reason I signed up to be a discount coach and I signed up to be a discount coach was just so I could get my shakes paid for, because I was coming from Thrive, where if you signed 3 people up, you didn't pay for your shakes. And that was the mentality I was in when I started. But once I hit the ground, like I was running, that's not typical. And I think a lot of that's just because I'm stubborn.
Right.
But a lot of the people that jump in and don't really understand what they're committing to first don't typically succeed. They did it super quick, but then it all fell apart. So just remembering that even though you're not getting the response you want, I guess we'd all love to hit Success Club 20 in the first 2 weeks of the month, because they're
Right.
doing it, because before they were planting. So that's kind of what you're doing. And see, like I've been talking to you for what, 2 years? 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think since the beginning, basically since I started,
Yeah.
I got leggings from you, and see, like 3 years later, here we are.
Right.
You totally you understand, you see what I'm doing, you see what I've been doing. Most of the time it takes time.
Yeah.
So people who are really successful right in the beginning typically have a warm market around them that's willing to kind of jump in and support. And those are the people you get. In the trainings, have you heard anything about being a success starter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a thing of notes somewhere about all of this information with those things I've been looking at. I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it.
So last month, because you signed up like partway through the month, it doesn't count against you. If you hit Success Club, which is Success Club 5, so that's helping 3 people.
Right.
3 months in a row, you get a summit ticket for free. That's all fine and cool. You also can just buy your summit ticket. Like, don't think it's the end of the world. Being a success story is hard to say. It's a title, but it's not the end of the world. So great. If
I was not a Success Club starter.
We'll see what happens with me.
I was, but only because I was ridiculous and working it at a pace, like I don't have kids at home. I was able to be ridiculous and work at a pace that wasn't maintainable. So yes, people can do it and not be ridiculous like I was, but that's something that's out there, something to work towards, but again, not the end of the world. I maintained hitting Success Club from signing up for 18 months, and then life happened. I totally dropped it. Like I was not like, 6 months of being an all-star legend person and lost my momentum. And ever since then, like it's hit or miss whether I hit Success Club, because I'm being more realistic with what I can give this business. The most important thing to me is remembering that I want coaching to be a joyful thing, and I don't want it to be a burden. Stresses me out.
I said that.
I get that. That happened with LuLaRoe, so I don't want to do that again.
No, that's not what I want coaching to be.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to start tracking your invites, Erin, just so you can kind of see where you're at, because for me, that's where I'm not consistent. That's where a lot of coaches are not consistent, because it's probably not is inviting. Figuring out how you can invite and make it come across where you're not feeling salesy or not being genuine. Like you've got to find in the way that you can opportunity. But track your invites just so you know how many you're getting done. Because like today I looked down and I was like, oh, because I had worked ahead of you. I was like, I don't have all my invites done today. And I was like, that's not a big deal. So I was drinking my coffee. I invited a couple more, and actually, now you just really know. And it's not to make yourself feel bad if you don't hit your goal. It's just so you know where you're at. Because that's a business building activity. Like if you're not inviting people, nobody knows you're open.
Right.
So that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
Wait, do not touch. Okay. We have a joiner to our meeting.
Welcome.
My non-napper of my 3 children. Is daddy out mowing grass? Yeah. But our next thing, last week we talked about personal development, and just make sure if you need any suggestions for personal development, You can ask me, you can ask Tiffany. I'm sad that the call didn't record because we like gave some great like tips on some personal development, but like just make sure personal development I used to think was like silly. I was like, I don't need to do this. And I've done it since January, and I swear to goodness, it has changed my life. Are you working? Okay. But the one thing we wanted to talk about this week is actually being a product of the product. That was our main, like, we're just going to kind of talk on the vital behaviors pretty much for the whole entire month, maybe even the next month or two, just because they're the most important. And if we're not doing the vital behaviors, like Tiffany said, as far as inviting, our storefront is closed. So we're just basically talking about what products we're using. Yeah, I see that. Can you please? But we're talking about what products we're using, like making sure you're sharing your products, whether it be really more in your stories. No, thank you. More in your stories than in your posts, because your posts are more personal based, whereas can you not? Okay. Hey. Okay. Of course, the one day that Tim's like, I'm going to mow the grass. I think they'll sleep. So good. I was like, yeah, I'm good. But like just making sure you're being a product with the product, sharing in your, all of that. Every time I get on my computer, my Bluetooth on my phone like disconnects and reconnects and disconnects and reconnects, and it's so annoying. Okay, I just turned it off. But making sure you're sharing that in your stories. You don't necessarily have to share it in your posts, because really you want your post to be about you and your story rather than the story. Sorry.
I have 3. It's okay.
Yeah. Stop touching. No touch. No touch. But just making sure you're consistently sharing every day. Like if you're like sharing your Shakeology, that's not as, I mean, I share mine every day, like in my stories. Like I'll post a picture of myself with my Shako, or like I'll talk. Like I always do a let's chat every day in my story, and I'll talk and I make sure I have my shake in my hand while I'm talking. Not necessarily saying, here's my shake and I'm drinking it, but like showing that I'm using the product. And I show that I use the collagen every day. I show that I use the Energize and the Recover every day. Like whenever I'm eating the beach bars, like any of the products that I use, I put in my stories, as well as like the containers for the Ultimate Portion Fix. Like I'll make a meal and I'm like, again, necessarily won't even say that that's what I'm doing, but I'll be talking, like I'll do my daily chat and I'll be making my lunch and I'll be putting my stuff in the containers. So they see me using it, but I'm not like, here's the containers. This is what,
right.
you know, like, so, but you're showing that you're a product of the product just by sharing it in your stories. And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. Tiffany, did you want to share anything on that? And I'm going to mute myself while I'm not talking, just because this little crazy lady.
So on that note of sharing, we want to make sure when you're sharing things, to try to not share where you can see like where your cup says Shakeology, and share the name brand stuff. I try not to, even with my workouts, to say exactly what workout I'm doing. I have almost all of my workout clothing that I wear now is from Beachbody because I really like their workout clothes, but I try to not, I don't want people to be able to Google what I'm doing or look on Amazon or just go straight to the Beachbody website and sign up, not realizing that I'm a coach and they can sign up through me, because that really sucks when you message someone later and they're like, oh yeah, I already got it. And they've been assigned to a different free coach and you're like, oh shoot. So the really big key is the curiosity marketing point, which is kind of what Alex was talking about, like showing that you're using it. And that way, when I
Stop.
two options for example.
Stop touching mommy's computer.
I turn on do my book. So
Now you can hear me again. Sorry, she unmuted me.
I steer clear of even calling it Shakeology in my messages with people until it is absolutely possible, because a lot of people, Shakeology's been around for, I think it's 10 or 11 years now. Like, it's not a new thing. And a lot of people associate Shakeology with pyramid scheme because they don't understand. So I steer clear of the word Shakeology as long as possible. I call it my nutritional shake. So I let them know, like, I have a challenge pack option. I call it a getting started kit a lot of times, because they don't know what challenge pack means. I actually just did a post about that today. Like, we use a lot of words, and Erin, you're probably not there quite yet because you haven't been in the Beachbody world long enough to start using that lingo as much as we do. But I let them know, like, there's options. And so when I'm talking about the shakes, and I'm just really, just within the last week or two, started working on being more consistent, sharing a picture of me with my shake. Because I post about my pre-workout every day. Like, everybody knows my pre-workout. For some reason, that's easier for me to share than the shakes, even though I also drink the shakes basically over 3 years. But if I'm not showing people that I'm drinking those shakes daily, they're not gonna think that I'm being authentic, or they might not think I'm being authentic. If they're watching my stories and they see me posting about a shake very often, that's something that I'm doing too. So I am being proof of the product. So we want to make sure whatever you're using, that you're trying to share about them as much as possible. You want to make sure when you pick a program that you follow the program calendar and do your very, very best to start with workout 1, day 1, and finish that calendar, because you really want to create a lot of hype around how awesome it is that these programs are put together strategically by people who are really qualified to get awesome results in as short as possible. And so really the best results if we're not following those workout calendars as they're intended to be. And really just lean into, because of those workout calendars, I don't have to decide today leg day or arm day or what am I going to do. Like, all I have to do is look at the calendar, pick it, and hit play. And that, when you're someone like me who works out for work, it's really good to have something better. And even if you're taking it to the gym, it still just gives them oh, I should do that exercise, or what's that person doing? Do their thing, get out of there. But if we're not hearing what we're doing, then people don't know what we're doing. And you'll see on Instagram, I'm sure you already have. It's not so much on Facebook. There are a ton of fitness pages out there where people are just doing their thing and they're using Instagram as their accountability partner. And you don't think that that's why you're on Instagram, is just to share your story. You want them to be sharing your story. They're to help people experience their own story too. And then a couple, did that cover what we were kind of talking about? Yeah, okay. A couple other things I wanted to bring up about product type stuff. So if you don't use a product because it's not something that is helpful for you in your life, don't feel like you need to actively promote it, because along the same lines of being genuine, you want to be able to wholeheartedly be talking to people about the products you're talking about. Whenever a new product comes out, same with workout programs, I try them all because I want to be able to speak intelligently about them, or even be able to speak about my experience. Like, there's a program called Shift Shop. I did it. I don't like it at all. And that's actually the super trainer that's coming to work out with us this next time, Aaron, and he's awesome in person, but he is a football kid. So that's basically what his program was. But he's super inspirational. Like, he's still a very valuable super trainer at Beachbody. I'm just not a fan of his type of workout, but I still did it because there's certain people, they're looking for a boot camp type workout. Well, that definitely is along the lines of a boot camp workout. So I can talk about it And same with all of our, our products that come out. We have a lot of different boosts you can put in the shakes, and I've tried a bunch of those. It's hit or miss with using the power greens because I've been having a hard time getting veggies in. So I just haven't been cooking. But I try everything. And then the things that I really feel like help in my life, those are the ones that I actively out. And that helps you come across and feel better. Feel like you're not being salesy, you're just trying to sell every product in the catalog, because everything's not for everybody. And that's why they're so dynamic and why they're constantly working. So Erin, you and I already kind of talked and messaged a little bit about active versus active, and I think we got that all ironed out for you, but I know over messaging it can be all like about staying active.
So it was really weird. Like I told you, they switched everything over, like the Shaco and everything. And I think you're right. I think because it was an older order, like it doesn't count. And so I just ordered like, I ordered a few containers of the collagen, but I just did like the beach bars just on repeat, and then it made me active. I think that combined with the Shaco that I'm already getting gives me like enough of those points. So
yeah, it totally should. And I've been using the collagen. I bought some at Summit because that's where they released it. And jars, and I now have it on repeat as well. I seriously think all these baby hairs are driving me crazy are from drinking the collagen, but I don't know if that's a collagen thing. It's like more hair growth, but the driving.
Oh, I need those.
Look how long
here.
my baby hairs are so long, and I swear it's because of the collagen.
Gotta be. I don't know.
I'll keep my fingers crossed then.
Yeah.
And my eyelashes, I swear to goodness, are longer too.
It's going to be something I'll be sharing about, especially when I catch an awesome like post-workout selfie where all the baby hairs are standing up.
Yeah, I've had mine on home delivery since it released.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Really, you can put it in. I put it in my coffee. I usually put it in my Energize because that's just the first thing I drink in the morning. I just get it out of the way and I don't forget, because I just forget things. Like a lot of times if I don't get a shake in during the day, it's because I forget to drink it earlier, and then it's like I don't want a full body, I don't want to get up in the middle of the night. So there's also something I wanted to hit on, because some people who are on our team are focused on hitting Success Club and want to earn those trips and that kind of thing. Some people not so much. So you can have your account be active up until, so Coach and Emerald, Ruby Emerald, I believe you have 50 personal volume points to stay active. So like I have Sean under me. I just have to keep him at 50 because sometimes he's an Emerald, sometimes he's not, depending on what I have going on. But for me as a Diamond, I believe it's 100 PV. So like Shakeology gives you 90. So you just have to keep an eye on that. And the reason you want to keep an eye on what you have coming automatically on HD orders, I want to make sure I say all these acronyms right. So your personal volume, your PV, has to come from home delivery stuff, so HD orders, to qualify you, because you have to be active to get Success Club points, which makes sense. But those points have to come from home delivery, so HD, like auto ship stuff. So I have, like Christina, a couple of weeks ago, she had skipped an order because she was in the middle of moving, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll order some workout pants under you that I've been wanting to get and something else. So it kept her account active because she's an Emerald, but that didn't qualify her as an HD order because the stuff I ordered under her was not on auto ship. So she stayed active, but if she's someone who's shooting for Success Club, that doesn't work. So that's something to keep in mind, because I'd totally forgotten about that for the longest time because I didn't have people working under me. But you got to make sure you've got HD stuff, which I don't see how you can really be. Oh, my cat's gonna knock things over. Come here. I don't see how you can be someone who's actively sharing your journey if you're not really, like using the products and using the things. So it makes sense that you'd have them coming to you anyways. So yeah, I wanted to talk real quick and just hit on that to make sure that people were aware, because I had totally forgotten that. And then on the way home the other day, I was like, oh yeah, those have to be HD points. So, but it looks like you've got that all figured out, Erin. And my cat is giving me the grumpiest face right now.
My child is dancing on the coffee table in the living room. So, and I can see her through my fireplace because our fireplace is a two-sided fireplace, and she is standing on the table dancing.
Working out, or working out at home, but also working from home. Yeah, the dog basically laying on me too. So it's really important. Pick a program, pick the products you're going to use consistently. Erin, are you using your stories on Facebook or Instagram yet, really? No? Okay. You're muted, my dear. Let me see if I can unmute you. I don't know if I can.
I did one the other day and I don't even know. I was surprised that it posted. I gotta figure this out. Like I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, okay, I don't have time to do this right now. I just need to work out, or like.
There are a lot of different ways and things you can get really, really fancy. And over time, I've gotten pretty fancy with my workout videos. They don't need to be fancy like that. So you and I can work separately in these calls. Like when you have time, let me know and I can kind of give you, I'll look for some good YouTube trainings, that kind of stuff. Cause that's how I kind of taught myself, was I would just get on YouTube and I'd type in like Instagram story hacks, stuff like that.
There is a Beachbody training on Instagram. Jantana Jackson does it. It's actually a pretty good video. Yeah. She goes over what like apps she uses to do her stories, like as far as like she uses Cut Story, because she'll video her whole workout and then she'll go through and use Cut Story so she can put it in her. And she uses a couple other things, but she teaches you how to use them. And it's really it's about a year old, so some of the stuff might have seriously evolved from them, but it is a good. Jantana Jackson does it though.
Okay, I will find that and I'll post it in our team Facebook chat thread. But really, and a lot of times, like when I'm driving to and from work, I'll find trainings and just listen or watch them if I don't want to listen to personal development. Sometimes I'm just not feeling personal development, audible stuff. And that's how I've learned a lot. And there are so many Instagram story hack videos on YouTube. You can actually learn to do some pretty cool things on your stories that are really easy, but they're things that other people don't know how to do, which is cool. And you can just video like little snippet on your phone and then upload them to your stories. And Cut Story helps you cut them into 15-second chunks. That's what Instagram is. And then that way you can pick and choose which ones you want. Because on an Instagram story, if you upload like a 45-second video, Instagram will cut it into 3 chunks for you. There's stuff in there that you don't want. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things you can do. What kind of phone do you have, Erin?
Samsung S6.
Okay. I think both Christina and Mandy both have Samsungs as well. So Alex and I are in the iPhone group. When I started coaching, I didn't have an iPhone, and within the first year, I ended up getting an iPhone because they're really awesome for photo and video. But you can obviously work your business from anything. So I will look for that recording for you, because yeah, that is where you can be more like unfiltered and just goofy is on your stories versus on your, especially on your Instagram page. It's not as big of a deal, I don't feel like, on your Facebook, because you don't see more than one post at a time when someone's scrolling your Facebook page. Like on Instagram, they see those 9 to 12 stories. You want that to look pretty polished, like still personality, but be polished. On your stories, that doesn't even matter. It's there, like people are more there to be entertained and just behind. I like to think of it as behind the scenes. I'll put filters and edit my stuff that goes on my stories, but I will post pictures that 3 years ago I would have not even camera reel, because it's life, it's real life. So sometimes I'm making funny faces and that kind of stuff, and you know, that's the stuff I don't typically put. Every once in a while I'll put something like that on my Instagram page, but it's really
Hey, Tiffany, I think I know where that video is.
Okay.
I think it's on I'll look because I follow the Beachbody Champions YouTube page. I'll go back and search it and I can post it in there because I'm almost sure it's in the Champions YouTube page. So I'll go back and I'll find it and I'll post it in our thread.
You know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it, but I'm not sure, like, because some of the, like, and maybe it's a different one because there were, like, text apps that she used, some, like, other thing, and she, like, showed this thing because that name sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
And I downloaded some of those, but maybe I just missed the whole stories part. I don't know. So, yeah, probably need to watch it again, and I can look up some of those hacks. Jason's great at finding things on YouTube.
So much information. So, I mean, don't ever feel bad that you have to go back and watch over because it's also kind of sinking in, and some things you watch them, but it doesn't really make sense because you don't really have like that scaffolding in your brain to stick it to something else that already made sense. So, I mean, you'll get there one step at a time. You've been doing awesome with your copy on your posts. I can tell you probably watched that the Angie Lee one that we posted, right? The YouTube video of the CBD girl. She talked about.
I don't remember.
I think you did because that seems to be the format you're following with your content.
Okay.
So you're doing a great job on your content for sure, and keep that up. Because like to me that's genuine. Like even though I haven't seen you in person in a few years, like that very much rings true to the Erin that I worked with for 2 years. Like that is coming across accurately.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
And I love keep sharing about the whole family piece of it because a lot of people don't get that and a lot of people don't start out with that. So it's really cool for people to see, oh, I can impact my whole family with this because that's the ultimate goal of Beachbody is to end the trend of obesity, which of course starts with coaches and then it spreads out.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool because you and I are both pretty fortunate. Like Sean and was really supportive pretty close to the beginning too, which a lot of people don't have that, but people can get there, and usually it comes with the one person in the family being consistent until everyone else is like, okay.
Jason's like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. What are we eating? Tell me what to eat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was so awesome. So I think that's all I had on my agenda that I put in the shredder box. But next week, I'm not sure if we're gonna. I don't know which vital behavior we're gonna talk about yet.
Yeah, we'll decide on Saturday when we chat.
But if you're able to get on the call next week, I want to always do an invite. Like, how are your invites going? Do you need help with like a little invite section at the beginning? So if you have questions, we're going to open up the call with sometimes announcements. There isn't really anything new going on right now that I'm aware of. Checking in on invites. I think I'd like to start doing a check-in on what people are doing for personal development as well. When you feel in a rut, sometimes what someone else suggests is like, oh, okay, I didn't think about that. So come prepared to talk about how your invites are going and if you have questions or need help. And then also what kind of personal development you're doing.
And then the other thing, we're going to put a poll in our message thread on what we're going to try and do a live workout. Girlfriends, like, come on now. We're going to try to do a live workout as a team and just kind of see when everybody is available. So we'll put a poll in there. And then also we're going to do probably an invite blitz or a power hour. We haven't really decided which one would work best and which one kind of everyone needs. Invite blitzes are always good as long as you have something like that you're inviting to, like that you've been promoting. But if you haven't been promoting anything or you don't have something to invite to, it can always be a little hard to be like, okay, what do I invite? Like, I'm doing this invite blitz, but I don't really know what to invite to. But we'll put something in the thread about that. And I think that was really all.
Yes. I think an invite blitz is probably going to be the simplest thing to start with. It's just focusing, like inviting is part of a power hour, but the whole power hour is a lot of different things. Probably at some point do a call about different things of what a power hour can do, different ways to go about it. Power hours. So Alex, or not Alex, I know what your schedule is. Aaron, are you on day shift yet?
Yes, I work like mid shift, so 11:30 to midnight, and I work like basically I work like a week, and then I have 7 days off, and then I work a week, and I have 7 days off, and then I work a week, and then I have 4 days off. So right now, like I'm on my 7 days off. So mine are like, I'll be here like every other. Is it Tuesday? Okay, I'll be here like every other Tuesday for the call. Otherwise, I'm at work in NER. You can't pop out.
Open to maybe like, I know you're someone who really wants to work out. I am open to adjusting the time also, because this is the time it was picked by everyone and we picked it. So we're on the call right now. I really want to try to so if earlier works on Tuesdays, we can make it that's an option to think about. It sounds like day of the week.
Yeah, my schedule is pretty, if I work at night, and I'm 3 hours ahead of you all. So like, because right now it's 1:45 here, like almost 1:45. So like my kids are supposed to be napping and they're not. So, but my husband is now back in here now that we're almost done with the call. So yeah.
So Aaron, about like if we bumped it to an earlier time, what time would work well for you that you could try to commit to being on the call? Because I'm open to bumping the time back. Wednesdays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my full days off. So I'm really open to them. If it means I have to set an alarm to get up, I will.
Mm-hmm.
So these calls aren't fun if no one's on here to talk to besides Alex and I, because
we talk on Saturday.
On the call. So we already have talked about what we're talking about. So yeah, let me know if there's a time that you think would work better for you, and we can talk about that.
And you said it needs to be on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday and Wednesday are the days that I can definitely commit to doing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can always do like, even like if you all need it to do an evening, like, or maybe alternate it. It doesn't matter. Just really, because Tuesdays, being 3 hours ahead, I can, by the time you all would want to do a call, it might be like 9 o'clock here. I don't know. So.
Yeah, with her working shift and how it works through, it makes more sense to me to pick a earlier morning time, because then regardless of what day it is, she should be able to jump on. As long as it's late enough that you get to sleep, but early enough that you can still get ready for work.
Yeah.
And get my workout in. I work out before work now because I can't do it whenever I get home. Too tired. Kicks my butt.
I like working out first thing in the morning. That's when I can lift the heaviest. Like I know that's when I perform better.
Yeah.
That's always my goal. On my days off, like I haven't worked out yet. I usually end up being like 1 or 2 just because I dragged.
Right.
Okay, well I guess, Erin, do you have anything we can help you with while we got you on here?
I don't think so. I reach out when I need it.
Sounds good. I'll let you guys go. And I will hopefully see everybody next Tuesday. Bye, guys.